So this is a video for bass players about some techniques for finger bass. Whew. Okay, so what I've learned from playing finger bass for a few years is that there are different effects. So let's talk about the bottom hand first, the hand that you pluck the strings with. So you may use any finger on any part of the string. So that is, so like one of the common ways to play is to put the thumb near the pickup and to use like the fingers like this, boom, 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 right? You can also use the thumb to play, kind of works well for playing like two notes at once, like a chord, right? Or all of them, right? And you could also use your you could also like pluck two string at once with any two fingers, and this is the easiest if you use the thumb on the low string, and then like one of the other fingers, like the pinky, on the outer string. And so remember, you can move, you're going to be able to use your other hand to like move around on the fretboard, so your other hand is doing that, but this, I'm talking about the bottom hand here. So then the other cool thing is that out of each string you can get a different sound if you pluck the string in different parts of the string. So like if you want to get a more twangier sound, like say I have a low string, like a low E string, if you pluck the very bottom of the string, like with your pinky even, that is like a really twangy sound. Whereas if you pluck closer to the fretboard, it's going to be more like a more bassy sound. So it's kind of cool to, when you're playing a riff, to like alternate. If you're going to play the same note twice in a row, I think it's cool to play the same note with a different finger on this on like in a different part of the string. If you're going to play the same note, you can play in a different part of the string to get a slightly different twang of the same note, which I think is pretty cool. And you could also, it's also pretty easy to play an octave, like to play like a low string, and then to tap the octave, which is usually like 2 frets up and 2 strings over. So it's pretty easy to do that as well in a riff. So what about the other hands? Okay, so the top hand is touching the fretboard. So a good practice that I like to do is to practice putting all 4 fingers, these 4 fingers, to bar a fret for practice, so that each finger is like pressing one of the strings. And you could try that at different parts of the guitar, or at different parts of the bass. Every time, or every key will have a fret where all of the notes on that fret are are within the key. So if you're playing a song that's in like whatever key, like E or F or B, whatever, there's always, you can find a spot in the song in that key where all 4 of the strings on that fret are playable, which is kind of makes it easy to know that if you go on that fret, you can do it. And you can bar, so on guitar it's very common to like bar a fret, is very easy. On the bass you can do it, but it's a little bit harder, in my experience, to do that. And so depending on the type of music you're playing, I like a bass to take up a lot of room in a track, because a lot of music has like a bass that always sounds nice, and the more bass, like the more of the bass that's like audible, I usually think it helps the track sound better. Like if you listen to like like Blink-182, especially their like popular works, they're like the bass is very audible in those songs. I think it's a good example. But there's all kind of music, like you know, a lot of dance music, like the bass, you know. So anyway, so you know, but you don't want to have like the bass be like so much that it like muffles the rest of the sound. So you, depending on like so like I mostly just practice. But like when you do recording, like when I recorded like the demo of Shadow Band, in order for the bass to like input properly, I could only play 2 strings at once. Like, so you have to, it has to have like proper compression to be able to, or like direct box to play like all 4 of the strings properly. Like, but in a recording, but it's definitely possible. Just take practice to like do that. It's technology, but just for the playing of it though, one thing that I think sounds really cool is to play I really like playing the outside string, the bottom string and the high string simultaneously. I think creates cool sounds, or it's like to try to play like 2 strings at once, but any 2 strings, because if you just play on 1 string, you're not occupying enough of the sound. So I think it's good as you create riffs to try to use all of the string like in the riff. So like some of the technique for doing that with this, so you can use the thumb to hold the bottom string, the low string. But if you do that, it's hard to touch the other strings unless you like do like from over the top, you know. But usually you're coming from like the underside of the neck, and like I mean, it's funny thing to say. So just to practice, and I think it's good to practice like all different combination, but your finger will get like tired. So just like, it's good to like not hold one position too long, you know. And there's definitely like different ways with the bottom hand. You can like tap and smack, like sort of like smack the strings, or you know, there's all different style of playing finger bass, and that's what's like so cool, like to do it. So there's like a lot of different ways that you can play a bass. All right, thanks for watching. Yeah, tell me something that could help my playing. Thank you.